Hey everybody, BanjomanDudeGuy here, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for the 500 subscribers. We have reached 500 subscribers. That's insane, and I understand that doesn't seem like a whole lot to a lot of people, but to me that is ridiculous because I never expected to even reach like 10 subscribers when I made this channel. So to have 500 people think my content is well enough to click that subscribe button, or for any other particular reason they decided to click that subscribe button, that's just super awesome. Oof. I ran out of creamer this morning, so I decided to put milk and chocolate syrup in this. It's not as bad as you think it would be, but yeah. Also, I just kind of woke up, and I went in the shower, and my hair is now like this, and I have no idea where my hat is. So, yeah. So, in celebration for this monumental milestone, I decided to just plop the camera directly in front of me after I get out of the shower, and I just want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. Explain to you guys why it is that I do what I do. Why all of this? You know, why do I have a channel? What sparked my inspiration, my motivation to click that camera and do whatever it was for me to do what I do now? And I wanted to do this, you know, for all of my subscribers so they can know me a little bit more, as well as future subscribers so they have a little bit more of an understanding as to why I made the channel. And really because a really good friend of mine on Twitter had told me that I should make more vlogs in between my longer videos that I'm now making. That's pretty much of a way to stay connected to you guys. And I could use this, you know, to do Q&As or random facts or just whatever's on my mind, just so that you guys can get to know me a little bit more personally and I can be a little bit more involved with you. Yeah. Now, the story that I decided to want to tell you today, about reasons for everything, it is a bit long, so I'm going to try to make it brief by shortening it down, kind of summarizing it. For one, not to bore you guys, and for two, I didn't write anything for this. Like I said, I just plopped the camera down and just started talking. So there's that. So, also, it's a bit of a sad one. It does have its sad moments. Well, one particular moment. So I figured for you out there that are susceptible to sadness, maybe you should get yourself some tissues or napkins. Okay, where to begin? I guess I'll just begin from the very beginning. Ever since I was a little tiny itty bitty little Stevie Weevy Whittlekins. What am I saying? Okay, anyway, I've been into video games. I was introduced to video games at a very young age. My dad actually owned an Atari 2600, and we played Combat for it. A little tank game that you shoot each other and everything. I actually still own the console. And I still actually owned that copy of the game. First game I ever played. And it was just awesome. I just loved it. You know, being able to be in control of something like that, it was just awesome, you know. And he eventually bought me a PlayStation, the first game console that was ever truly mine, and it just all started, you know, going uphill or downhill, however you want to look at it from there. And I started basically my collection of games that I still have an addiction for to this day, which is evident by my Steam library. Well, I played video games so much, all the time. Every day I'd get out of school, I'd go home, I'd play video games, and I'd play them until I'd go to sleep. I hardly ever even ate, man. I was so into these games. You know, all the fantasy worlds and all the different lives that I could experience. It was just so fascinating, and it just fed off my imagination. So much so that I actually started having difficulty finishing homework or doing anything with my studies, because video games just seemed so much more appealing. But then again, of course, I'm sure anybody would say that. It wasn't long until I became more of a responsible teenager that I got a babysitting job. And I was maybe about 14, 15 years old, I think, at the time. And the young man by the name of Dylan, he was I believe 4 or 5 years old. So it was a lot of fun. Plus, it was kind of cool to hang out with somebody that had the, the same age mentality as me. I'm not sure if that's something that I should admit, but it was a lot of fun regardless. Well, it turns out he liked video games just as much as I did, and he actually owned his own console. He had like a, I don't know, whatever, PlayStation 2. I don't even freaking know what video game console came out around that time, but we used to play it all the time, and he was supposed to have a limit on the amount of time he was supposed to play on video games, like responsible parents do for children, but I was probably the most irresponsible babysitter of all time, so we played the video games nonstop while eating ice cream in the basement when we weren't supposed to. Best babysitter ever? Worst babysitter ever? You decide. Well, we became very close, I'm sure, as you could imagine, hanging out with this kid. And I babysat him at least once a week, every Monday, while his parents went away to a bowling league or whatever. And he practically was my little brother at this point. We did everything. I even went over to his house and hung out with him because he only lived like 2 houses away from my parents' house at the time. And we'd just play basketball or we'd just go play video games just because. Well, now comes the sad part. So, for any of you, like the tissues, the napkins, I'm not, whatever. This is the sad part. He was 9. We hung out for 4 or 5 years at this point. He was 9, and this was back in 2007. In fact, hold on. Actually, I have this picture. Keep this picture on my computer desk at all times. This is him. In fact, this is a picture that was taken at the time I graduated. Look at my weird-ass, crazy hippie hair, and one of my best friends, Josh, right here in this photo. This was actually taken in 2007 when I graduated high school. And later on that year, about 6 or 7 months or so after that photo was taken, Dylan passed away. He had a brain aneurysm. For those of you who don't really know what an aneurysm is, and I'm not any medical professional at all to really explain it, but the way I believe it is essentially a weak spot in a vessel that when it just builds up pressure, just poof, and it's all it really takes, especially when something like that goes in your brain. It's pretty much always fatal. He slipped into a coma after complaining about a headache, and I think about less than a week later he actually passed away in the hospital. And as anybody out there that has had a younger sibling or a younger one in their life pass away, it has been and was always the biggest devastation of my entire life. And it's still so devastating that here it is 8 years later after he had passed, a little over 8 years, and I still don't like thinking about it. In fact, I don't like talking about it. But it has a huge impact on my life today. So that's why I am. So, as you can expect, I slipped into some pretty crazy depression, and that lasted for a long time. And during that time, I stopped being able to get attached to people as often. In fact, I still have that problem to this day. And another side effect, oddly enough, was that I didn't play video games even remotely close to the amount of time I used to. This, you'd think that I would want to spend more time in a fantasy world with a fantasy life to try to escape reality, but when that happened, it pretty much pulled me forcibly and just held me into reality. So no matter what I did, I couldn't get too involved with it because I couldn't stop thinking about it. So video games pretty much took a back burner on my life, and I hadn't played them nearly as much. Heck, even today, I still don't play them nearly as much as I used to back before that had happened. Well, life went on. A lot of stuff. I tried to get out of this depressive mode. Life went on. A lot of stuff. New jobs, new people, new stuff, new places to live. A lot of crap happened. Pretty much just breezing on by on autopilot. And well, I was hanging out with one of my best friends, Sean, and he said, "Hey, have you ever heard of Let's Plays before?" I actually believe I was living with him at the time. And I'd never heard of this amazing concept. What the heck is a Let's Play, I thought. And he showed me some people playing some video games, old games, like on MS-DOS or whatever, I don't know. He's like, we could totally do this. You know, this would be a lot of fun. It would give us a reason to play video games again. Mainly for me, I guess. And then at the time, he had also introduced me to NormalBoots.com. I will definitely leave a link in the description here. It has been one of the biggest inspirations of my entire life. For you guys out there who don't know NormalBoots.com, you probably know a lot of the people from NormalBoots.com, and it probably sounds familiar because it is a group of YouTubers that do game reviews and experiences and just all-around crazy videos. And some of the most important people on there, well, not most important. Why'd I say that? Scratch that. Some of the most inspirational and wonderful, amazing people on there are people like JonTron and Peanut Butter Gamer and Pro Jared and the Continue guys. It's just a bunch of people. I believe the Completionist is on there too. Satchel Bag. They're just fantastic, awesome people. And they make amazing videos. And they helped me through a lot, you know. And just watching their videos and being able to smile, it actually re-sparked that love for video games in me. And I wanted to play them. I wanted to just be a part of that again. It was fantastic. Years later, after this whole thing has happened, I finally fell back in love with video games. And not only that, throughout life I had a bit of a revelation. You know, it was hard when he passed. But I'm still alive. You know, I'm still alive. I'm still coasting through life at the speed of time, just moseying through. And although he didn't get a chance to do that for too long, I did. So I wanted to kind of somehow have him live through me, if that makes any sense. So I still act like a huge kid all the time. You know, I wanted to be able to live my life for two now, you know, to experience all the things that he never got to. And that's why I do what I do, you know, because life is too short to do things that you don't want to. You know, sometimes you just, you lose that, and you just move on through life not realizing what you have. But the fact that you're alive is amazing, is absolutely amazing. And it can end at any time. You know, at any given time. There's no guarantees you're going to be old. There's no guarantees that you're even going to make it to 10 years old. And that's the reason why you got to live your life to the fullest in the moment that you have. You know, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to risk anything. But you should at least invest some of your time every day to do the things that you absolutely love to do. Because before you know it, years just fly right on by. And you have no control. And Dylan, even though he was young and he had no idea what was going to happen, he lived so happily. You know, he was always such a wonderful joy to be around. He put a smile on anybody's face every time that they just walked past him. He was just a wonderful, wonderful kid. And if it really, honestly, if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for me meeting him, being a part of his life, him being a huge part of my life, I probably wouldn't be doing this. You know, I wouldn't have that motivation, that drive to share with you guys all of these wonderful games and all of these wonderful experiences and silly, crazy antics and everything of mine. You know, so I can't thank him enough for being a part of my life to give me the inspiration to do what I do now. You know, and I just wanted to pass that on. Don't ever forget how wonderful you are. You know, don't ever forget how easy it is to smile and how easy it is to make others smile. You know, so just live in the moment, be happy, do what you love. Life's too short. That's all I want to say. Life's too short. And that's it. That's the try. I tried to make that as brief as possible, and I know that I trailed off at some points, and this is a little bit longer than I actually expected. But for those of you who made it all the way through to the end, thank you so much for watching this, and thank you so much for even being here. you know, for even being a part of this channel, for clicking onto this video, for watching this, for even thinking about it. Heck, if you're not even at the end of this video and you just stayed for the point where I had even introduced myself at the beginning of the video, thank you, you know, because for even that brief fleeting moment, you thought that this channel was worth your time. And even if you didn't think it was fully worth watching all the way to the end of this video, just that passing moment that you thought and you saw the video and you clicked it, that's wonderful. You know, it's so nice to know that I'm actually out there to a point where people can click that video. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Thank you all for sticking around and for clicking on the video. It's just, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess that's it. See ya.